Yo, what's happening, man? Y'all already know what it is. This is Twice Talk, and we are listeners supported by 91.5, the Rebel, HD2, Las Vegas, the broadcast service of UNLV. OCAS the day, y'all, and I got the phenomenal Athena Rose with me today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fabulous, thank you.
Fabulous. That's what I like to hear. Yes, yes. So it's the first time we had you in the studio this year, and I'm glad to have you back. So let's talk about some of those goals for the New Year's. Are you getting into the goal? What was your New Year's goals, and are you accomplishing them?
Well, I have two main New Year's resolutions, which is to not procrastinate in any of my homework, stay on track.
Sounds like you've been plagued of it in the past.
Yes, every single semester. So today this year I said I'm going to make a change and not procrastinate
Yeah.
because procrastination is a disease.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it will grow. It will grow. So, there's been a couple things that's been floating around here, and it's just a couple things that's really been on my mind, and just that's really heavy. One of the things that's really been heavy is the Women's March that just passed. We had a lot of controversy, a lot of people. Oh, you kind of took a side. What? How you feel about the Women's March? Did you feel like it was justified? A lot of women came together. Is it needed? Like, do you feel like more women should speak on it? How do you feel about the Women's March?
I feel that it's justified if you have a group of individuals, women, whoever, and they all stand up for something. We need to, uh, really get understanding of what women are, what their needs are.
Hmm.
We should all, especially women, we're creators. We bring life in, and people should kind of want to know what's affecting us, what's affecting our daily lives, and what we're interested in.
Yeah. So during the Women's March, there was a lot of different issues that came about. What would you say was the main issue that was come together? I should say that brought everybody together.
Um, I'm speaking for myself personally.
Okay. Well,
You
before we
know,
speak on yourself,
Mhm.
let's say, well, what do you believe the as a whole? What would be the issue that is spoke about the most?
Women not having the same rights in the workforce,
Oh yeah.
I would say.
You don't think women get the same rights in the workforce?
Absolutely not. It's
Athena.
proven.
Athena.
It's proven
Women make more money than men these days.
in Vegas, but not anywhere else.
Vegas. Well, so LA probably too, maybe.
Probably.
Yes.
But, you know, but
That's what.
nationally it's an
Yeah.
issue. Yes.
So what is it that the women aren't getting the same type of jobs? They're not getting the same type of pay, the same type
Of
of
opportunity as men.
yeah.
Hmm.
So how many times out of 10 would you say a woman isn't getting the same opportunities as a man? Is it all like more than 5 out of 10?
Um, that's a hard question. I think every field is different, and but I would say yeah, close to that, half.
Yeah, 50%. 50% is crazy. 50% is a very very high number. I was looking at a few of the other issues that they had upon in the Women's March. If you look at womensmarch.com, they have a few issues that they want to make sure to highlight. They have environmental justice, civil rights, immigrant rights, ending violence, reproductive rights, worker rights is the one that you just touched on. Um, which one would you feel like you personally are connected to the most?
I am personally connected to ending domestic violence.
Yeah,
Definitely. I was in a domestic violence situation in a violent
you look
relationship.
like you'd be beating people up anyway.
So I definitely think that's a big issue for women to support other women that have been through the same thing. It empowers us. You know, when you go through those certain situations, it kind of strips you of something. And I feel like by other women stepping up to the plate, it gives other women that don't have enough courage
Mm-hmm.
to move on and get past it. And it's just a phase, and life keeps on going, and you gotta get yourself back up.
Well, first off, a lot of women like them thugs.
Hmm.
So when they liking them thugs, what they expect?
Exactly.
What you?
I was a big.
Yeah, I know you
I
like them
love the bad
thugs.
boys.
Yeah.
That was my thing. But
Mm-hmm.
now I have grown.
I have grown.
I
We
have
have
grown,
graduated.
and I see past what we're gonna talk about, lust.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
see past that. Oh shoot, I like that bad boy look, but I
Well,
don't like
uh,
that bad boy behavior.
okay. I'm gonna go off topic for a little bit before we get back to the
Hmm.
couple questions as far as the women's march. I wanted to ask, what attracts you to a bad boy? Like, can we?
Being a badass, just knowing that
Yeah.
you know they take initiative to do what they want, and it's hard to find that in,
Oh, you just like him to say, yeah, give it to me.
like, no,
I need.
not just in,
Okay, that's
no,
yeah.
but yeah, like they know
Initiative.
what they want
Uh huh.
basically,
Okay.
and they ain't afraid to do it
Hmm.
regardless of the consequences.
Oh, so well, you kind of said something as far as domestic violence. There's a movement going around, and you kind of mentioned it. I don't know much about it, but you
Hmm.
said the Me Too movement. What is that?
The Me Too movement in Hollywood is just basically, I mean, it's obviously around the world, but women voicing their experiences of being, you know, sexually abused in order to attain certain positions.
And that happens often.
Of course.
Oh, I'm not aware, so I wouldn't know.
So I think it is important for this Me Too movement because it's exactly that, to bring awareness, because males are not aware of everything that a female has to go through.
mm, yeah, that is that's that's pretty deep right there. And as far as the sexual harassment, um, we're living in a world where women also do it as well. And I be feeling like me too, and I be having to go through it as well. So it does need to be on both sides of the spectrum.
Of course.
It is a touchy subject. Um, so what kind of tips or ideas would you have to kind of remedy or to move along the Me Too movement? Or how about this? Women that do go through those types of things is what would you tell them to make sure that they keep pressing forward?
To find your bliss, because at the end of the day, that's what brings you back to life.
Yeah.
I've been through abuse and rape and all kind of horrible things that I've experienced, and just knowing that, hey, I'm not a victim. It was just an experience I went through, but it's not me, you know. Um, and just knowing that life is still beautiful after that. Like, you can't give up. You can't just let yourself be depressed, be in a funk. Like, those are really hard situations to get through,
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody deserves to be happy, so
Most definitely.
I'm not going to be the one that's gonna, I guess, kill myself in my own depression.
Yeah, you got an amazing story. We're gonna have to learn about it
Yeah,
real soon. 'Cause
definitely.
that's one to tell and one that's gonna ring for a long time.
That's why I'm a real big part of that movement. I still like have anxiety like when I talk about it, because it's something so real,
Yes.
that nobody else understands unless you go through it, unless you've had that. Like I said, it's like I could compare it to when a male, goes to jail and they strip all that humanity from you. Like, you feel like that emptiness, like something is missing, like they take something from you,
Yeah.
but it's just.
Okay, so I got a question. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate for a
Hmm.
moment. Um, a lot of times, they're in sexual abuse. Um, uh, Women know that if they tell, they can get A, B, and C. And sometimes it happens to the fact to where that though A, B, and C did not happen. So what's going on is that women are there's been a few cases where women have said I've been sexually abused. They were not sexually abused, and then there were no repercussions. Do you believe that's right?
I think you have to look at the history of a person. That's why it's his story, or her story. You
Mm.
really have to does that person what kind of person is that? Is their word
You're saying that it depends upon the person or their credibility.
their credibility? Sometimes there's a lot of like people that say, "Oh, hey, I've been molested. This person did this," or but they really didn't.
Okay.
So there's
So you're telling well the question was is there repercussions to the
mm,
girl that cried wolf and there was no wolf? You get what I'm saying?
no, of course, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, so what would be the
yeah, there
repercussion?
should be a repercussion for that. Whatever, a jail sentence, or if you're trying to put somebody else in jail, and
You would put them in jail.
yeah, then you need to be put in jail for lying.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get a little deeper with that, or ask one more question once we get a word from our sponsor. Yo, okay. We back, and we were talking about if the roles were reversed, and when she cried wolf, and there was no wolf, was should there be a repercussion? You said they should go to jail.
Yes.
So what? 20 years, 10 years? What? How? What kind of slap on the wrist? What?
I
What are
think
we
a
talking about?
good 6 months would do them some good.
6 months,
If you're trying to put me
180
in jail
days.
for life for something I didn't do, then that's the least.
Wait a minute. So you're trying to put another man in life for you're trying to put a man in jail for life or for
six
many
months.
years, but so you're basically saying a lie is worth 6 months in jail, and
Like
and
you'll
then
learn your lesson not to, or
I,
no, is that
I
should it be
don't
longer?
know. I don't know. I
Should it be
think
like 20 years?
I'm thinking you should get a couple of your privileges revoked and some jail time for sure. Because you're trying to ruin someone's life and you're trying to get up on somebody else just so you're either going to put them in jail, you're going to get some money, you're going to be able to. There's going to be so many
Yeah,
benefits that you're trying to
definitely.
do, but
And a fine. And a
oh,
fine.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's happening. That's happening more often than not. More often than not. And believe you me, what? How many girls came out about the Bill Cosby joint, and they waited for what 30 years? Come on now, that don't even make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense to you because it didn't happen to you.
There's
Like,
been
there's people that
there's been a
don't talk about it at all. It's just a thing that you're just like shameful. Like, you don't want to say it.
think so.
Of course. It's like if you got raped, would you want to tell somebody? The whole world? No, no. It's not something that you want to share with somebody like that. It really takes a lot of strength to share those type of things with somebody.
Possibly, possibly for sure, and it's something that both sides need to stop, because it's not humane at all,
Yeah.
and once we continue to move forward in a better direction and everyone has the greatest good in their mind, we're gonna start thinking twice. You know what I'm talking about, girl?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I got another question for you. We're gonna change gears a little bit, and there's this word that started off back in the Cleopatra days, back in the Roman pharaohs, and the word is lust. What does that mean to you? If I were to ask you to define the word lust, what would you say it is?
I would I would describe lust and I don't know.
Hmm?
Um, Lust is a fake, I guess, for me,
Fake.
superficial,
Lust is fake.
or lust turns into dust because it's not real.
Lust turns into dust. Are you kidding me right now? Miss Athena Rose, lust
Hmm.
turns into dust.
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, Mr. Webster, he kind of said this. He said lust is a strong desire for something.
Hmm.
So when you lust for it, it's just like you really want it bad, I guess.
Hmm.
So, My first question.
Okay.
My first question would be, in your mind, what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things that aren't physical that a man lusts for? Name 2 things that a man lusts for that aren't physical.
That aren't physical. I would
Yes.
say loyalty?
Men lust for loyalty?
Or is not
Yeah, I
physical?
would. I would. They might. Cause I need it. I want it. Yeah. So that might. That might. What else? What else do they lust for?
Um, Financial freedom.
Financial freedom. So, would that be different from what women lust for?
N-
Something
No,
not
no, no.
physical.
We. I think it's the same. We.
It's the same.
Yes.
You sure?
Loyalty, we want it. Financial freedom, we want it. So I wouldn't see.
Come on, Miss
No?
Athena Rose.
No?
You know what women lust for these days? The millennial women. Perk, what you got to say?
Fame.
Fame? Oh,
Fame.
shoot. See, I'm not a millennial. I'm old. See?
These millennials.
I'm in the romantic era.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You can't pull the sheep over
No,
my
I
eyes.
don't have a big fame thing. I'm not really into that.
I'm gonna tell you what women lust for. Women lust for power, especially millennials.
Okay, same for men. That would be on top of the list.
Uh,
Power, right?
Who lusts for it more, men or women?
I'm not a man, so I would have to say, I would say man because
Okay. What?
you guys don't let women be president, so
Who doesn't it?
men
Come on now. You
as
know
a whole.
you know who's really making a lot of the move, or I don't know, I can't say that. But you know Michelle was really making moves out there.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But women lust for power. You know what another form of power is? Seduction.
Yes.
Who seduces better than anybody?
Women.
And you know what power is? A power is basically how to impose your will on a situation.
Power.
Yeah. That's also aggression. But imposing your will on a situation. So I think women like to do that more than men. So let me ask you this. So when you think about lust, you think about a lot of. Oh, and this is for you guys, man, because there's a lot of lust around here, especially in Las Vegas, Nevada. We might call it, instead of Sin City, it might be Lust City. Who knows? I don't know. But instead of talking about lust as a relationship standpoint, actually, well, would you say that there's a difference between lust and love, and what are the differences between lust and love?
See, that's what I was getting to when you asked me about lust. I just jumped right into what I thought,
Yeah,
what I use it for, which is,
Head first, right in
lust
the
or
shower.
love. And for me, it's like I said, lust is just something that you just see with your eyes.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know, like that's just a visual, looks good, but it might not be good.
No, lust ain't good. What's the difference between lust and love? Like, is there a difference between lust and love?
Yes, love is solid. Lust can turn into dust, like I said. Love is a solid thing. It's unconditional.
Yeah. So lust can't be unconditional. There's conditions that come with lust, is what you're saying.
It just depends on what everybody's definition
I
of
wanna know
lust is.
yours.
My perspective
Yes.
of lust is something that's just a visually or appealing, or it's appealing at first, but in the long run, it's not beneficial for me. It just looked good, but it wasn't for my best good.
So doesn't every situation start off with lust?
It depends if you have an intention behind it. If you in your mind know
Oh,
that
there's
there's
intentions with everything, baby.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
So-
if it's a good intention or a bad intention,
There's still an intention. So
So love would be more of a good intention. Okay, I meet you, I like you. Do I just want to date you for this reason, or do I picture myself in the long run, with the family, with kids, with blah, blah, blah? Or
okay.
do I just want to date you just, oh, I'm just going to school and I need somebody to hang out with and date? See, two different intentions. So one could be just lust for right now, one could be in the long term. It just depends what your intention is.
To me,
For me,
it sounds like you are associating the word lust with a negative thoughts.
yes, and I know that I'm doing that because that's the only form I've ever heard it in. So,
Yeah.
and that's my fault for being uneducated.
No,
So,
we're not. We here to educate, baby. But I'm
don't
just here
don't
to.
judge me.
I'm here to question. Because there's quite a few
But
people that
yeah,
believe the same thing. That lust is always a
a
negative term.
negative thing,
Well,
and
why? You said has any good came out of lust?
it's maybe what we see. Obviously, I learned this from movies and other stuff. It's just
Mm-hmm.
what's portrayed on us as what lust is.
Mm.
You know, uh, Unless you actually look up the definition for it, you're just gonna jump to that conclusion.
Mm. Yes. Yes. Well, I'll tell you like this. A lot of people really don't realize this, but lust makes money. Like you on the Budweiser commercials, we got the majestic horse. Everyone desires, strong desire to be like a majestic horse. And then on top of that, the majestic horse is next to a majestic woman. Full
Hmm.
figured, curvy, pretty smile, pretty eyes, long hair, all of that, walking on the beach. And people desire to have that kind of woman as well at a location like that. But we don't ever look at it as it is lusting. People are lusting for that kind of lifestyle. But then guess what they do? Maybe if I drink this Bud Weiser, I I might be in that. I feel like I'm in the same situation. That is a form of lust as well. But no one ever thinks about it like that, and it isn't such a bad idea. Would you say?
It's not a bad idea.
Hey, so let me ask you this. Speaking about lust, so you know, if I were to, you said lust, how to tell love and lust apart. There's a couple of things that I looked up. I want to get your opinion on.
Hmm.
Okay, so here are some signs in a situation to where that lust is alive and it's oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Rewind, hit the back button. Look, okay, so can lust live inside of love? Would you say?
Ooh, I I would love to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because I
hope.
feel like lust is that beginning part of the relationship where it's that passion and that spark and
Yeah.
just that magic that you get at the beginning. So I feel like if you can carry that whole thing through the whole relationship, then why not?
Yeah.
It's a goal, at
Yeah.
least,
Now we talking. I'm
you
just glad
know.
you keeping it real today.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I've heard so many times that that I heard that if you're lusting, a woman says, if you're lusting for me, I don't want you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like that's just like saying you don't want me to be attracted to you. Is that like why would take me into a mind of a woman? Why
I
doesn't
don't
she
know.
want?
That wouldn't come out of my mouth. Who said
I don't
that?
know about that one. No, I did. So take me into a mind of a woman. Like, why would a woman say she doesn't want to be lusted for? Or yes, yes,
Maybe she just doesn't want it to be a physical thing and wants it to be more of a real connection, soul connection, rather than based on looks. Maybe.
well, let me tell you. Probably. But the reason why that they are on her phone and in her DMs is because of her lustful ways and the way she's looking. You dig what I'm talking about? We got the engineer Perk. What you got to say, boss?
I feel like they have the same mindset you had at first, Miss Athena. as far as having a negative mindset about it. Because like once you got educated, excuse me, you see how you changed your whole little thought process about lust.
Yes.
Learn how to
So
razzle
that's
dazzle.
just the only
Yes.
reason, because every girl gonna want a man to lust from. It's the beginning stage. If he not lusting, then he's not paying you no attention.
Mm.
And
Mm.
ain't that one thing women lust for is attention?
Attention,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, that's definitely and because I want to
Oh.
be on top of my man's priority list. If
Okay.
not number one, then pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay, okay. So let's talk about a couple things where there's some signs that lust lives in your situation. And I would like to know your thoughts on it. Perk, chime in as well. So, when you lust, you dress to the nines. And that kind of means like nines, tens. You get what I'm saying? So, is
I agree.
you would agree
Yes,
that so you're always trying to look good.
always.
What's wrong with that?
Mhm. You
Is,
know?
is there something wrong with always trying to look good? Hey, if you think so, if you got any ideas or any comments, go ahead and put them in the comments, man. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear them.
Mhm.
So, Perk, what you got to say? Is there something
I
wrong
don't
with that?
think that's lust.
That's not lust.
No, that's love.
That's
Because
love.
yeah,
That's
if you
self
when
love.
you love yourself, you're gonna always dress to the high power. That's just period. That's not lust. That to some people it may be lusting, to ones that don't love themselves and who's out there lusting for attention.
Yeah.
But to those who really love themselves, no, 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 no. We dress to impress ourselves first. Because as long as I'm dressed to impress myself, I know that it don't matter what y'all view of me. Because when I seen me, I was A1. You feel me?
Hey, one.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm glad we got that some clarity in the air. Ooh, that tastes good. Tastes good. Okay, so another point where they said signs that lust lives in a situation is you look past their foolishness. Is that lustful? Yeah, you look like you've been looking past a few foolishness.
Exactly, exactly. I
Oh, you look good.
I was like, oh. But I would say yes, you do. But
Yeah.
I'm trying
What
to.
kind
That's
of
a new resolution. I'm trying to work on.
what kind of foolishness you be looking by? Give us one.
Oh gosh. I don't know.
You
I
got
can't
it.
think
You
of
know,
one
it's,
right
look,
now.
there was like that went through your head. I seen them. Pow, pow, pow.
When I already know that I'm not going to be their first priority, not now, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's just like why do I put myself in those situations? It's just like fuck. I'm just going to hurt myself, but I sometimes I look over that and deal with it.
No potty mouth. Hey, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, so here goes another sign that lust lives in your situation. Uh, they say what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. Is How often does that happen?
I say that would happen a lot.
A lot. Oh, that looked like it hit home.
Yes.
Berg, what we got to say about that? What we got to say about saying what you want to hear and not what you need to hear?
That ain't neither. That's just being fake. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
have a negative outlook on lust.
Okay, okay. Well, we're gonna come back right after a word from our sponsor with that rest. Yeah, so does body language have anything to do with lust?
Body language has everything to do with lust because
Everything.
yes. Yes.
How? Explain, please. Inform, enlighten.
Sometimes you're not
Yes.
able to express with words
Oh yeah.
the, you know?
So you can captivate an individual just by the usage of your body language.
Yeah. Or with the simple touch
Is it
or
simple?
anything.
Oh, you just
You
took the words out of
know,
my mouth. I was about to ask if it's easy. You
yes.
said,
The simple
oh,
touch.
oh, oh, we're gonna have to learn a little bit more. Okay, so here goes.
Seduction 101.
Hey, yeah, no, that's a form of lust. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? So another way or a sign that says lust is living in your situation, the person is a god or goddess. Is that like, say if you're treating them as if they are,
I
you know,
think that should always be done.
that
Treat
should
me
always be
like
done.
treat me like your queen, and I'm gonna treat you like my king,
Oh,
and then happy life.
but you just told me that you were attracted to the badass.
Not no more. I said that was the old me.
That's a safe word. You said no. Oh, you said no, no more.
Not no more.
Oh, okay.
Not no more.
So you feel like that's how it should be.
Yes, that's how it should be. Because I went through that bad boy phase of not. So it took me all those bad years of being mistreated and not being treated as such that like made me be like, no, this is how I want to be treated all the time, not just sometimes.
Mm. Perk, how you feel? You feel like you can is that lust or love when you always treat your the person you like or after like a god or a goddess?
That could be lust. I feel like that's more lust than love.
That's more lust?
Yeah, because you attempting. You don't know if you really gonna carry out with that. Cause like lust is like the beginning stage, like you say, like crawling and walking. You know, it's like just or better when just like when we was in school, a couple people they lust when they go to college. They think they like this and they put all their effort to it. Then they find out they don't really like it, but they still like school. They don't drop out. So
Hmm.
they lust at that particular subject and until they found another one. So that's what I feel like.
Mm.
That's a good way to say
Okay, okay. I I'd probably say that it's not lust. I would
it.
say it's love.
But if your goal, like I said, see, I have a different goal in mind now. Mine is to keep lust in the love, like we said.
Okay, okay.
So these are new ways that I'm my new form of living, and that's just how I'm going to live, and that's the type of man that I'm going to have because that's the type of man that I'm going to
That
get.
lust for you.
Yes, lust. I
Okay.
always
That
want to feel
strong
like
desire for you.
that of course that you're wanted, Of course you can love somebody, but then you kind of lose that wanted feeling like,
Yeah.
and I feel like everybody fe- is in our nature to feel wanted.
For sure. For sure. That's one of our basic needs.
Yes.
Basic needs. Indeed, indeed. So another sign that your situation. Oh, go ahead. What we got?
We got Miss Gloria. You know, she say lust is an
Oh, Glow
inflection.
B.
Yes, yes. She said lust is an infatuation when you want to treat them like royalty. It's love.
Oh, so she telling me it's love too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Glow, it's happening. I see you. I see you, girl. Yeah, yeah.
She definitely agreed with Miss Athena too. She said, "Yes, girl."
Oh, okay, okay. So here goes another sign that
Thank
your
you.
situation has lust living in it. That you don't feel comfortable sharing yourself emotionally. Is that an issue? And do you believe that it can be remedied?
Yeah, I feel like that's more towards love because feeling vulnerable is it's that feeling of that vulnerable feeling, and
Yeah.
that's more towards the love side than the lust side.
Well,
Hmm.
not being able to share.
Yeah, like if you're not being able to share, that means it's just more towards the lust.
Mm.
Because when you're able to share with somebody, you have to be able to accept that person's feedback, whether it's good or bad.
Mm.
You know.
So, what you're saying is like we just on the Ferris wheel and we just get to make out all the time. But I won't tell you that I'm afraid of spiders. That's that's a situation or a sign
I mean,
that
that's a
your
little
situ.
thing, but
That's a little thing. Well, I got some 5-year old friends that be hanging out with me a lot that be listening. So I got to keep it a little G rated. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But if the little things make sense, the big things make
Oh yeah,
sense.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no.
All right.
So when you are not comfortable in a situation or talking to somebody, about your situation or not comfortable with talking about it, what kind of things would make you feel comfortable to open up so that it does stray away from that lustful nature?
Time. You
Time?
know, time, trust. It takes time to build
What if
trust.
we only got a week? We got a week to get it right. Feds are calling us. We got a marriage counseling test to pass, and so what's got to happen? How can I open her up?
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Okay. Well,
That's
look.
a skill. That's one of your skills. I don't know.
Well, I'd probably say if what happens is, like you said, the key word you said was being vulnerable. If you really want to connect with somebody, or what brings people together is going through vulnerable experiences together. So that's how you really get connected with somebody. So you you want to, and honestly, I low key I'm about to get low key almost gave y'all some game. I might just wait on it. You know, matter of fact, I'm feeling real good today. Y'all can go ahead and get some of this GAME. So check it out. So if you really want to get somebody addicted to you, you just have to make sure to give them emotional highs and emotional lows, and that's what a lot of people usually do. Because what happens in an addiction? Yeah, an addiction, like say you got smack all over you, right? So you had the smack, and it take you way up here, right?
Oh,
And so what
shoot.
happens is, and when you don't have that no more, you come all the way down, and you feeling worse than ever. So you're gonna do whatever it takes to go ahead and get back up there. It's just like with people. People are gonna make them feel as best as they can, and then they're also gonna make them feel like as low as they can, and be like, man, I don't ever want to feel this low, so I got to make sure to do whatever I got to do so that they can make me feel this good again. And that's how you get people addicted to your actions. That's a little game for you right there. You know what I'm saying? Emotional highs and emotional lows.
How about if you're trying to get them addicted, but they already know that and they're just trying to survive and you're using you as a tool?
So they're already addicted. That sounds like a parasite.
No, because like some people, like you said, you can do it on purpose, right?
Mhm.
You could purposely get somebody addicted to you.
Mhm. Mhm. I try to do it on purpose.
Uh-huh. But let's just say the other person already knows that or is ahead of the game.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so many scenarios that could happen
Okay.
when you
Okay.
try to manipulate situations.
Manipulation.
Definitely, that's just like if a person is can't control their emotions, then by you doing and taking them on that emotional roller coaster, that could be real toxic.
That could be real toxic.
That could
Yeah,
be
you
ugly.
better
And
get.
once that other person catches
Yeah.
on that you're doing this
Yeah,
intentionally
yeah.
and purposely, then, you know,
Then she's
okay,
not
well,
gonna.
then it switches the script to where, fudge you, and
Forget you.
I'm going to switch the scripts, you know?
And you
Yeah.
possibly could lose
That's why
something. My bad, but you possibly could lose something
something
that
great.
was good because now she's gonna shut it down now because now she feels like, oh, you're playing with me.
Yeah.
So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
toy, and I was trying to trust you. And if she find out oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's over, you torn. It's a wrap, bro. It's
Mm.
over.
That's exactly my point.
Oh, okay, okay. See, we catching a lot of game out here, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. We're not here to run game. We're here to teach it because when you teach it, you you not in the game no more. That's when you coaching. You dig what I'm talking about? Hey, another sign that your situation is full of lust is that the silences are awkward and they're often. Is that does that happen a lot? Well, like
Yes, I think the nervousness,
what
like
makes it nervous?
when you like somebody really much, you kind of get the butterflies, and maybe it's at the beginning of the relationship,
So,
you know?
oh, right.
Like when it's new
Okay.
and it's just like, what should I say? Should I wait till he says something? It's just that the newness of it,
Yeah.
I guess, is when the awkward moments of silence.
So is that toxic or how do you like when there is silence? What do you talk about? Do you, how do you kind of stay out of that awkward area?
I guess you just ask whatever question. I don't know. Just ask some random question.
Oh, I don't know, cause you ask a random question, you might really strike a nerve.
I mean, not random, but that relates to the subject that we were previously on.
Mm. One of my game coaches told me, I don't know. He said, if there's ever, yes, I got coach too. We call them GCs, okay. So what they told me is that when an awkward silence comes about, all you got to do is just try to stay present.
There you
You
go,
know,
man.
talk
Good
about
tips.
what kind of nails they got and what kind of clothes they might be wearing. You know, the last book they read, or you know, there's hundred million kind of things. But you know, I don't want to go ahead and give you too much of that because you're gonna have to
Be in the present. I like that one.
gonna have to chip in for the rest.
Yeah, another thing, I feel like works when it's silence, and y'all done been talking and it comes a little silent. Just just make your presence be felt. Just for a little touch, a hug, something, a little something.
Mm.
It still keeps you relevant and like, oh, okay, he's still paying me attention, even without us even communicating. It's different ways of communication, just like Miss Athena said.
Nonverbal. Yep.
Another point I meant to add on why when you don't feel comfortable about speaking was that the reason why, or not so much a reason, but a lot of people would in relationships, or if lust is living in it, they would like to keep it on a fantasy level. And if they like to keep it on a fantasy level and not exposed and thinking about reality, then lust is probably lingering around. And which leads me to my last point is that the future is unknown. So if the future is unknown, I would probably say that lust lives in the situation. Would you agree? Disagree? How you feel about that?
I feel like the future is known sometimes.
The future is known, and it can you know the future with lust? Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm striving for yes.
Why? Tell me. Yes, tell me what kind of strides make you to strive for the yes for the lust.
For the future, I just feel like we should be like I said, just we should all have that person that wants us, makes us feel special and it be reciprocated, vice versa, and just makes for a happier America. Everybody,
Happier
just
America.
everybody,
Yes, indeed, indeed. Interesting, interesting. So I wrote up a little piece about about lust, and you know what? We'll talk about that on our own time. So let's ask about. Let me ask you this: what are the dangers of lustful thinking? Are there dangers of lustful thoughts?
I would say addiction, right?
Yeah.
Addiction is bad
Mm,
and can drive you to do crazy things.
yeah. Okay.
So I would say that there are some dangers.
Lust probably does lead to addiction. Oh.
It's unhealthy to be addicted to somebody or something or anything. There should always be a balance of everything.
So would you say lust is hard to extinguish? Is it easily removed or what?
No, I feel like lust is a feeling just like everything else, and feelings are deep. They're deeply rooted, and everything has to be processed. Every feeling has to be processed.
Interesting. I like every feeling does need to be processed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to process those feelings before we react on them. Because often we react without knowing how we feel and that turns into something that we really can't turn back the hands of time and you wish you could. For sure. So, here goes a great question for you. I had to think so hard on it and you haven't heard this question and I know Perk hasn't heard this question. You're going to need a little bit of time. I want to put Perk on the spot first,
Okay.
so that you can get a second to think about it. So, in the words of Mr. Shakespeare, When the last time you heard that guy? Huh? Yeah, yeah.
It's been
Man,
a little while.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a little
So,
while.
and their language was quite different than what it used to be, or than what it is today, I should say. So, what Shakespeare said is that lust is a waste of shame. What did he mean by that?
One more time.
Yeah, yeah, one more time. Shakespeare says that lust is a waste of shame.
It's a waste of shame.
Waste of shame. What does that mean?
It's a waste of shame.
Yes.
Maybe he was like that. Go on the person, like I say, because lust to me, I don't look at it as negative.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be no type of shame in it for me.
You would so some people do
Some
feel
people probably,
shameful. So if
some
you were to
people
feel
feelings
shameful,
may get hurt or pride because they put something on the line and then it didn't go and they feel like, oh, I showed you everything and you just shut me down. So maybe I can understand when I think like that. But like I say, to me, nah. But in his case, and after we just talked about it, yeah, I could see that if I've done something and I usually don't, and I feel like I laid all my cards on the table and you probably only put one or a half of one,
mm.
I'm shamed now. It's like, I did everything and I done showed you all my moves and it still didn't work. That's just like if we was out somewhere. That's just
Oh,
like if you out somewhere
that
and
one
you
hit
trying to
home.
shoot and you just keep shooting and she steady goaltending and blocking and
Goaltending.
timeouts.
That one was
Hey
supposed to
man,
go in.
come on, man. You know now you feel shamed.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
understand it in that sense.
Interesting. Athena, what we got? Lust is a waste of shame.
I think what he meant was like relating lust to negativity as well,
Mm-hmm.
and saying that don't even look at it in a negative way because it's just there's no, it's not shameful. It's just a normal human feeling.
I believe it is.
Hmm.
Uh, mm, See, I was really puzzled about it for a long time. I still am. I don't
Yeah.
even know what kind of thoughts to have about lust as a waste of shame. Yet you have to think about the word shame at first, and when you think about something that's shameful, something you're embarrassed of.
Hmm.
So they're saying you're wasting your embarrassment with lust.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I don't know. So you're wasting your embarrassment with a strong desire for something. I don't know.
Yeah. Who
You know,
knows?
it's well, if you define words and you put them all together, that's basically what he's saying. If that makes sense, who knows? I don't, and I'd probably have to think about it for myself because that is the first time it came out of my mouth for sure. Um, so if I were to ask you how to avoid lust, what would you say? Like, just a couple
Stay
more.
home.
Stay home. Stay away from everything.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's some great advice. Stay at home, read a book, and you gonna stay away from lust. Okay.
Yes.
Perk, what we got? How do you avoid lust, man?
It's no avoiding it, man. It's
It's no
gonna happen.
avoiding.
Like I say, to me, it's the beginning stage of everything. So, and unless you just gonna hop right to the main course, and don't have no water and no couple of appetizers, then hey, I don't see you going. I don't see it happening. It's just what it's going. It's just what it is, bro. It's the beginning stage of everything, bro. It's steps to life. And that's what's wrong with people now. Everybody trying to cheat and not take the proper steps. It ain't no structure. Love has structure. It's certain steps. You can't rush it. You don't know how long it's gonna take. Some may take sooner than others. But you gotta sit down and be patient and just understand that we doing this for the greater cause and the great purpose. And
Yeah.
then it'll work out good when you go into it with a negative mindset, thinking you just gonna halfway do something and you expecting it to happen right then and there. It ain't on your timing, man. You know how that go.
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm glad you're dropping some nuggies for us today, because you be like to be selfish sometimes. I don't know why you be selfish. He be acting like he don't got the mic right there or something. But we appreciate you for speaking up today. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Um, if I were to say how to avoid lust, let's say you're walking in a room, one thing I could probably say, and I only have one because I might have a couple. One, the first one I actually say is avoid the rich. And you want to avoid the rich. You want to stay away from lust. Any other way, y'all, buddy, you're losing, baby, for sure, for sure. But when you walk into a room, they say bounce your eyes around. Don't just stare at one thing, because when you just stare at one thing, your mind gets to going and the temptation gets to rolling. And so if you just focus on one thing, then that's going to add fuel to the flames of your lustful nature. I would say for sure, for sure. Other than that, you guys are all doomed because we can't get rid of lust at all. Can't get rid of it. So, uh, and I got what's crazy too, bro. You gave me my final thought today. I already had this, but I'm gonna save it for later. And because you hit a valid point. It was cold too, and yeah, it was real. It was real. So we're gonna get back to the last portion. I got something special for you guys to talk about once we get her word. Yo, okay, we right back. We right back, and we just had an epic discussion about lust that lives inside of love, or if if love can live inside of lust, then we broke all of that down. And if you didn't get to check it out, don't worry, you can do so. Yet, I still have another question for you before we get up out of here. Have you heard about Miss Erica Badu?
I have.
Okay, Miss Erica Badu was on an interview yesterday, and I would like to know some of your thoughts about her comments that she made. They were quite controversial, and what she said was that she sees the good in everybody. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. No.
Okay, I don't think so either. And then her next statement was what rattled everybody, and the internet went crazy. Twitter was on her neck, you know, all kind of memes. I don't know if there's a meme. There might be. Just be on the lookout. But she said that she even saw good in Hitler. Is she wrong for saying that?
I plead the fifth.
I plead
No,
the
I'm just playing.
I plead the fifth. All right, that's a great one because I don't know what to
I
say.
mean,
Either.
no, she's not wrong. She's able to express her opinion freely, and I don't think she's wrong. Everybody has. We're all created in God's image, whether we express it in a positive or a negative way, and it's at the end of the day, it's just forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's just being that bigger person, being that bigger person,
Yeah.
and those are the game changers as she is.
So, by her, well, Perk, we got something to add?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like that, Athena, because like that for us spiritual and for us some that's religious, you it ain't for us to judge. It's a higher power. And even that highest power, you know, gave you forgiveness.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's right for us to, have that mindset because she's not stepping out of her lane,
Mm.
trying to be someone she not. She's not trying to play God. So, like Athena said, when we hear, man, we supposed to be forgiven. We supposed to, if someone was to, yet we don't do it, but if someone was to kill your parents or whatever the spiritual, religious ways, to let him deal with it.
Yeah.
You supposed to pray about it and let it go.
Yeah.
So
Not let it hold on to you.
right. So with that being said, we not even understanding Erica Badu. She's, I feel, very woke and very spiritual.
Oh yeah.
So
her
in that
wavelengths are on a higher
in
level.
that
for sure.
aspect, that's why they going, because they don't understand her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, and I understand, but I do understand why people are going crazy about the situation, because it's like they don't understand.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
So You feel like most people get offended by things they don't understand, basically?
Yes, everybody is afraid of what they don't understand, or they're quick to judge what they don't understand.
Hmm. You know what? You are 100% right about that. Those are facts. Those are facts. So, her next comment is that he had a troubled childhood. So it was almost like she was, defending him to an extent. So it made me pose a question: If when or at what age does someone come completely responsible for their actions? Would you say?
Um, I come from a Mexican tradition, so for me, like having a quinceañera or a sweet 16 or things like that, like those are in place for a specific reason. They're rituals that have been passed on from our ancestors, so I think they're set for us to be, that should be the age, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm very,
When you're
you know,
responsible for your actions,
I mean,
completely
yes.
responsible.
Yeah, at
What?
15 and 16 years old, you know what you're doing.
Okay. Well, let me tell you this story.
You feel it. You feel it in your heart more than you know. You know, if it feels bad, if you get that guilty conscience, you know it at that time. You know your conscience.
So okay. So I got a. Oh well. What we thinking?
Miss Glow say, Miss Glow say, according to the scriptures, Jesus said Jesus was about his father's business at the age of 12.
Hmm.
And that's right before, like I say,
You
the
said.
reason why I know is because I used to be a little knucklehead growing up, and my mom used to tell me that it's okay because when you turn 13, when you turn 13, you're responsible for yourself. You're gonna have to ask him for your own forgiveness. I can't pray for you no more at the age of 30. That's what she told me when I was turning 13.
Hmm. Oh
Into that,
wow.
yes indeed.
Okay. Well,
But can I
go
add
ahead.
something to
Go
that
ahead. Sure.
though?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's evolving because there's some things that I feel like I didn't know before that I know now at 32. You know,
Yeah.
that I feel like, okay, I shouldn't really be judged for that, even though I did it last year because I didn't know no better. You know, so it really just depends what you go through, what what's meant for you to learn, and it just really depends.
Hmm. Let me tell you a story. So, and I'd like to know your thoughts on the story. So, I went out to school in Utah, and the culture is very different out there. So, yes, it's very different for sure, for sure. And it's first day of school. I'm 25 at the time, and I'm talking to you're just mingling with everybody. So I ended up talking to this girl, and she's 18, and she asked me, so where are you from? We're just talking. I said, oh yeah, I'm from Vegas, and I said I'm a city boy. She said, oh yeah, you a city boy? She said, oh, that must mean you don't know nothing. So I said, you know what? You're right. And I just left it at that because I really had no energy, no time to try and do any kind of arguing. But I didn't blame her for that statement. I blamed her parents, her or whoever her surrounding was, because somebody told her that being from the city, you don't know nothing. She didn't think of that herself. So is that am I wrong, so to speak, for saying that I can't blame her at the time of her own thoughts and her actions and her responses when she's 18? She would you have held her completely accountable for that
She's
statement?
not responsible, but I think it's your responsibility to school her,
Oh,
so she doesn't do it again, and so she knows.
so she knows, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that was crazy to me. But continue.
like you only are interested in, like, there was like a study like how they did when they do SATs and they see how bad like lower income um, students are
Hmm.
doing.
Hmm.
It's because they're testing them on stuff that is not relevant to their geographic area, so they're like, how can we know about that if we're not from that area where these SAT questions are coming from?
Mm.
So it's just like we're just from two different areas, and we have two different, you know, knowledge of things.
Yeah,
That
like
doesn't make me,
perspectives. Hmm.
stupid.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
makes me smarter at something else
yeah.
that isn't,
It's kind of like that meme that's going around. They got the elephant, the fish, the monkey, the zebra all lined up, and they say, "Here's your test. Climb that tree."
hmm
And so and if we judged intelligence based upon that, the monkey would be the smartest. But
exactly.
everyone has their own skills and has the things that they are best at. So that's what I kind of figured
Exactly.
you was getting.
Hmm.
Oh, love! You love it when a thing come together. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you got any final thoughts today, Miss Athena Rose?
The final thought was look up the words because I learned
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big lesson. I really thought that lust was what I thought what lust was, and in reality, it was just like, oh, it's just really the desire to want something. I was like, oh shoot,
yeah.
it just like I knew that, but I haven't used it in that form in so long that I'm just like, look up words,
The define words,
define
and
words.
I was told that you should define words within your relationships as well because
Hmm.
that's how you know when they really mean something. So if they really mean it, or if they're really true about it, yeah, define your words. Define your words. Hey,
Hmm.
Perk, we got any final thoughts today? What's going on?
Yeah, yeah. Today, um, final thoughts, man. The people they should really understand that what we talked about today are two things that are very valuable, two things that is great, and two things that we shouldn't be afraid of. Lust is not nothing negative. It is the beginning to something that could be great, and if
Yeah.
not, even greater because you may be lusting on that and then stumble across it, some stop you and you find something better. But if you wouldn't have never lust, you wouldn't have stumbled across it. So don't be afraid of lusting because you can stumble across a jewel.
Nice
Love
jewel.
that.
Ooh, don't be afraid of lust.
Oh.
Please don't. Please don't. Because it's only natural. It's only natural. And, we can't be afraid of nature. My final thought today is Perk ended up giving me a great words. He said, and if you guys didn't catch it, he said it's like when you go out and you shoot your shot, or you laid all your cards on the table, and you don't want to feel shamed about laying your cards on the table. So, well, the reason why we show you all of our cards isn't because we're trying to play a game with you. It's because we're trying to show you how to play. So the ones that's showing you how to play, you should draw a little bit closer to them, hold them near and dear, because them the ones that's gonna give you them coaching gems. You dig what I'm talking about? And if you want to go find some more gems, go over to OverTheTopLv.com. Because if you're looking for the stars behind the bright lights in Las Vegas, you don't gotta look no further. They got the painters, the poets, the artists, the community leaders, we got singers. We got Model Mondays. We got Soulful Sundays. All you got to do is go over there, and I promise you're going to find some things that you are not ever going to forget. Another thing that you can't forget, make sure that you go ahead and send out your music. We still waiting. Send it over to TwiceTalkMedia@gmail.com. Make sure you edit it. Have it in a WAV format file so that I can boop plug you right in. You're going to get played over HD2 and KUNV 91.5. So now you winning two times just because you did it one time. You smell me? Hey, and remember, if everybody in the world thought twice, it'll be a better place. Love, baby.